Class students, where in the previous class we have completed the first two chapters, that is related to reproduction in flowering plants and also reproduction in lower organisms. Today I will be starting with another new chapter, that is of microbes in human welfare. It's a small chapter, it is just for 6 hours. This is a chapter which is only for 6 hours. If before going to study in depth about the microbes in human welfare, I think we will go back to the previous year, what been studied related to this. I think the first chapter, which is of biological classification, where the whole living organisms in the nature being classified into 5 kingdoms. The whole living organisms in the nature being classified into 5 kingdoms. As all of you know, it includes Monera, Protista, Mycota, Plantae as well as Animalia. We know that the unicellular, microscopic and also a prokaryotic, and also the organisms with less cellular organization, although they have been included under first 3 kingdoms, that is Monera, Protista as well as Mycota. But the higher group of organisms have been included under the group of plants as well as what? Animals. The higher group of organisms have been included in the group of what? Plants and animals. So for whatever the first 3 kingdom, which includes, I think Monera includes bacteria, and finally if you talk about a Mycota, it includes a fungi, and even if I talk about a Protista, it includes most of the members of protozoans. Most of the members of protozoans, they are also microscopic. So for in this particular chapter, we are concentrating on the microorganisms. We are concentrating on what? Microorganisms, or what being called as the microbes, where the subject which deals with the study of these microbes is what called as microbiology. The branch of biology which deals with the study of the microbes is called as microbiology. Yes, students, could any of you could guess some of the organisms, some of the microscopic organisms which are not included under the classification? Sorry, as it is not the live class, or as it is not the interaction with that of the students, only I should ask a question and I should answer. So I will come out with that. There are few organisms which have not been included for these 3 kingdoms. I think last year we have concentrated on that. That is viroids as well as prions and even lichens. But lichens will not come under the group of what? Microbes. So far we will not study about this, but we are going to study, that is these viroids as well as the prions. They also comes under the group of what? Microbes. They also comes under the group of what? Microbes. So for all these organisms which are simple in its body organizations, as well as the one which is microscopic, it means the size of that is very less, which cannot be visible through our naked eye, and the one which is prokaryotic, and where the cellular organization which is very less, I think which has not been advanced, we call those organisms as what? Microbes. So for the subject which especially deals with the study of these microbes is what called as microbiology. Microbiology. In your mind, you may get an idea, all these microbes are only harmful to the human beings by causing the diseases or decaying the food or decaying some particular items what being kept. No. Whatever the microbes, what you could see in the nature, few are beneficiary to the human beings and few are harmful. A few are beneficiary and few are what? Harmful. harmful in terms of causing a diseases. I think recently, nowadays, you could see a very good news, coronavirus. It's also a virus which is also a microbe. I cannot say it is beneficiary. It is the one which has been harmful by spreading diseases in a very faster, that is in a pandemic manner. It is somehow epidemic. In that way, that is a maximum number of microbes you could see. They are harmful by causing a diseases either to the plants or to the animals, or polluting to the nature, or decaying the food. In that way, you could see so many microbes, they are harmful. But this is the chapter where you are not going to discuss about all the microorganisms. This is the chapter you are not going to discuss about all the microorganisms. You are going to discuss only about a few microorganisms which are benefiting to the humankind, and so far this chapter is being called as human welfare. Microbes in human welfare. So far in this chapter you are going to study a few microbes which are beneficiary to the human beings, in what way they are beneficiary and what are the products produced from that. All those we are going to discuss in this particular chapter. Yes, we know that the microscopic, we call it as microbes. Is that these microbes are specific in their distribution? No. If at all, if I want to say the distribution of a microbes, it is being found all around. It is present inside the body, outside the body, even it is present in air, even it is present in water, even in a soil, even in a acidic medium, even in a salt solution you could see, even in acidic, that is even in a basic. In that way, even in a higher temperature and also even in sub-zero temperature, where you could see the presence of microbes. So when we talk about the microbes, we say that it is cosmopolitan in distribution, or it is universal in distribution. You cannot find a place without a microbes. Any of the microbes, either it might be bacteria or it might be fungal spores, or these of the microbes, it is present all over. Even surrounding to us, where you can see millions of microbes. So for this microbes, what we say is it is universal in distribution. It's been found in all the places and it has not been specific. Even if we say that it is extreme, where the organisms of plants or animals, if they cannot survive, even in this place, where you could see this particular microbes are capable of surviving or capable of living. I think the first chapter, what called as Archaebacteria, that is the place where we studied methanogens, then thermoacidophiles, halophiles. All these are the bacteria where they have been surviving under what? Extreme conditions. So for microbes being present throughout, what we call it as throughout the earth, it is not being confined or it is not being specific or fixed to one particular place, where it has been present throughout the world. It has been present throughout the world. Very here, in this chapter, we are going to study the microbes in different topics. First topic is how the microbes are being useful in household products. Then later you are going to study how the microbes will be useful in industries. That is in various industrial products, how the microbes been useful. And even you are going to study the microbes in terms of sewage treatment. Nowadays Bangalore has been facing concern to that of a sewage treatment. So that getting rid of the sewage, it's highly difficult. So for this microbes being used to decompose or decay and convert this complex into simple, and finally to make it as a fertilizer. Even this microbes being used. So for even for sewage treatment and even for biogas productions, biofertilizers, biopesticides. In this way, you're going to study this particular microbes benefit or beneficiary for microbes in different topics. So for first we will concentrate on the microbes in household products. Microbes in household products. So many people say that no, I am a vegetarian, I am not a non-vegetarian, pure veg. Nobody in the earth is pure veg, because each and every person will be having this living organisms into their body, either with one or the other items. Whatever the milk they drink, they contains lot amount of lactobacilli, and whatever the dosa or idli, what they hint, even it contains this particular lactobacilli, some of the things. The cheese, even there you could see fungi. Agaricus, it's also fungi. So for in the earth, you cannot say that I am a pure veg, because there is no chances of saying that I am a pure vegetarian, because one or the other way we are eating the living organisms itself. When we are eating a living organisms or a flesh, it has been considered as non-vegetarian itself. Yes. First, I think all of you are familiar with the term of lactobacilli. Lactobacilli. I think last year when we studied about anaerobic respiration, lactic acid fermentation, it is because of this lactobacilli. Well, I feel you will be knowing where it is present. Yes, this milk contains this lactobacilli. The milk is the one which contains abundance of this lactobacilli. And this lactobacilli is responsible for the fermentation of the milk into what? Curd. The lactobacilli is responsible for the conversion of milk into what? Curd. Because it coagulates the milk protein, what called as a casein. It coagulates the milk protein that is a casein. It is because of that the milk gets converted into what? The curd. How you get a curd? You are going to add a starter, or you are going to add an inoculum. This inoculum or starter contains some amount of lactobacilli. When you add this particular inoculum or the starter to a boiled milk, this particular lactobacilli undergoes, or it multiplies in its number, and even in turns they also undergoes a fermentation, followed by it coagulates the milk protein, that is casein. It is because of that the milk gets coagulated to form what? The curd. Milk get converted to form into what? A curd. And this curd as well as the milk, both highly nutritious, but in curd where you are going to see a more amount of vitamin B12. This curd is rich in vitamin B12, which is highly nutritious, and also it keeps our body cool. In that way, this curd plays an important role in adding up vitamin B12 and also checking out the disease causing microorganisms in our intestine or in our stomach. It not only does by providing a nutrition, it also avoids or it checks the growth of microorganisms which acts as a pathogen in our body. That is what the function that this lactobacilli does. So for every day, each and every person should drink this particular curd of either 1 or 2 liters, so that this gets added more and it keeps our intestine clean by adding, that is by providing nutrition as well as by cleaning out the unwanted pathogens what being present in our body. I think this is one household product, that is formation of curd from the bacteria. It is a bacteria, that is lactobacillus. They coagulates the milk protein of a casein, and it is because of that the milk gets coagulated to form into what? A curd, and it contains vitamin B12, and not only that, this also checks the growth of what? Unwanted microorganisms. The other important last year in our canteen, alternate days where you could see dosa and idli. One day if it is dosa and the another day it will be idli. I think it is also because of what? A lactobacillus. This lactobacilli is the one which is present in split grams. This is present in the split black grams. They also functions in what? Fermenting this particular batter, or what is this? And this fermentation, and that has resulted in the formation of what? A puff food or the soft food, because it has resulted in the increase in concentration of carbon dioxide during the fermentation process. This carbon dioxide concentration, when it increases, where you could see the food appears to be puffed and also it appears to be soft in nature. Immediately if you grind and if you add that to Italy, this, it will not get a very soft thing. Only when it is being fermented for the whole night, then only you could see fermentation takes place, that has resulted in the increase in the concentration of this carbon dioxide, and that makes the food soft and puffy in nature. So for even here the lactobacilli which is present in a milk, it is also been present in the splitted black grams. They also functions in fermentation process. This fermentation process increases, or it produces lactic acid followed to that of a carbon dioxide concentration, and this makes the food puffy in nature. This makes the food puffy and soft in nature. I think bakery products. The bakery products, as all of you know, the bakery products, they are also somehow puffy in nature and it is also soft in nature. It is because this particular bakery products is also produced from the fermented. This bakery products is also been obtained from the fermented what we call it as statics. Here all of you have heard the term of the yeast. This is a fungi which belongs to the group of Ascomycota. Scientifically it is called as Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Saccharomyces cerevisiae. This is the one which ferments this particular that is the food items what being used in the bakery products, and this as increases the concentration of carbon dioxide. It is because of that you could see the small holes in this breads, all those things, and this is also obtained from this what being called as fermented products, and it is obtained from the another microorganism, that is of Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is a scientific name of what called as the yeast, which is there for the syllabus. Only I will that. The next is what you could see is the cheese, which is a dairy product. It has also been obtained from the milk. This contains the coagulated milk protein, or what called as casein, and this cheese is rich with the milk protein and the fat. And this is also obtained from the milk, and this even here the lactobacilli plays an important role in fermenting this, and this is coagulated protein. The protein gets coagulated and finally it is being enriched with the fat to form another product what being called as a cheese. All of you are familiar with this product. The next is, this is Swiss cheese, which has the large hole. The Swiss cheese, which has the large hole in that. I think in most of the cartoons where you'll be seeing this is Swiss cheese, which will be having the larger hole in there, in the what we call it as products. It is due to a bacteria called as Propionibacterium shermani. Propionium, a bacterium, Shermani, is one of a bacteria which has resulted the increase in concentration of carbon dioxide during the process of fermentation. This is because of that we could see the large hole in this Swiss cheese. You could see the holes in all the food items, but here you could see the larger holes, and those large holes in this Swiss cheese is due to the bacteria what being called as Propionium, P-R-O-P-I-O-N-I bacterium, and the species name is Shermani. Species name is Shermani. Next is a Roquefort cheese. A Roquefort cheese. This also has a very good flavor and also very good taste. And this Roquefort cheese is highly flavored and highly tasty. It is because it has been ripened by a definite fungi. This Roquefort is with good flavor, because this has been ripened with a particular specific fungi, and this particular fungi gives this particular flavor or a tasty flavor to this Roquefort cheese. I think these are the few household products where this household products is being obtained because of the fermentation of what called as the microbes. Because of what? The fermentation of what? The microbes. I think in the next class we will concentrate on the microbes in industrial products. The microbes in industrial products. Thank you.